think right now Xbox fans are definitely happier than PlayStation fans, and I don't think that's really going out on a limb by saying that. I just honestly feel like that's the way it is, and I also think that it's one of those things where there's not much that Sony can do at this particular point because they've got a lot of bad press. They've had a lackluster year in terms of releases, and it doesn't look like things are going to get much better for them anytime soon. Now, unfortunately, for them, Microsoft is kind of going off on their own thing, doing some pretty incredible things, while, Sony are kind of stuck in the past, and I got to be honest about it, it's not looking good for them. But we keep getting all these good pieces of news about Xbox, and I just kind of want to be clear. I feel like what's going on with Xbox versus what's going on with PlayStation is two different platforms heading in directly opposite directions, unfortunately. You have Microsoft really kind of doing everything right, and then you have the situation with PlayStation, and they got a lot of things kind of going wrong, and just to be clear, I think that Sony can right the ship. They're going to have to cover something with what's happening. They're going to have to do something, because no matter how far ahead you are, no matter how untouchable you think you are, there's always going to be somebody that can go out there and do better. But again, Microsoft is ramping up a lot of stuff. This was a leak that sort of came out, and I think it's going to make everything kind of work out well for Microsoft and what they're doing at the Game Awards. So I figured, hey, what a pretty good time to actually talk about this. Rumors are continuing to circulate ahead of the Game Awards 2023. We're just over a day away from the Game Awards, and at the time of this video, as you'd expect, there's a few Xbox rumors, along with plenty of speculation doing the rounds ahead of the big event. One of the rumors, this gained a lot of traction, is that Arcane Studios, who did Dishonored and Deathloop, may reveal their next game at the show. This comes courtesy of a well-known YouTuber who spoke about it in a recent podcast. And I quote, "Arcane will announce a brand new game at the Game Awards. Although the extent of the information is strictly to Arcane as a new announcement for the Game Awards, I don't know what the project is." By the way, this one mentions that it's not Redfall 2, but no doy. To be quite clear, there's two different Arcanes, right? Arcane that did Redfall, and then Arcane that did Deathloop. So two different types of games. Beyond this, well-known industry insider and Sony file Shinobi 602 appears to have suggested there will be an announcement that will have a lot of people talking, but hinted that he wouldn't categorize Deathloop 2 or Diablo 3 in that way. Take that comment for what it is. Again, listen, I like Xbox, it's my preferred platform, but yeah, Deathloop 2 or Dishonored 3 isn't going to be like this huge needle-moving announcement, but those would be, added announcements to what Xbox is going to get. There's a few other Xbox-related announcements that are going on right now as well. Microsoft themselves want people to kind of tune in and check out what's going on, which, hey, for sure, why not, right? Again, such as Apparent Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons remake being in the works, which, by the way, for a indie game, that was a very, very good game. I beat that game, I think, on PS3, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. There's very few times that indie games really get to me, but that was one of them. Speculation continues to crop up of whether or not Baldur's Gate 3 could be a day one Xbox Game Pass title. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but you never know. They do want people to tune in. Maybe the first two Baldur's Gate games go into Game Pass. In the meantime, again, listen, I don't think it would be crazy for Baldur's Gate 3 to go into Game Pass, because first of all, Baldur's Gate 3 is likely to win Game of the Year, despite the way I feel about it or how you might feel about it differently. I think most console gamers definitely don't think that it's a game that should win Game of the Year. These type of top-down isometric RPGs, they don't traditionally do well in terms of sales or players on console. So, you're launching this game late on Xbox as it is. I think perhaps we could see a situation where, they just go, okay, for us to be able to, make a good amount of money and get a good amount of players, we put it in Game Pass. And Microsoft was already kind of theorizing in those leaked documents that Baldur's Gate 3 would cost them about $3 million to get into, Game Pass or whatever. So, again, that's something that us as gamers can kind of look at and say, well, you know what? This is something that could possibly end up in Game Pass. And for me, it wouldn't really make a difference to me. But I also, like I say many times, I am not the only person who is an Xbox fan, right? There's a lot of Xbox fans in the world. So the fact that Microsoft could do something like that, I think is cool. We could definitely see a situation where, you know, Xbox gets some nice drops. They did get some surprise drops kind of recently as well, which I thought were pretty cool. And, you know, maybe we'll be able to, you know, what was it, Remnant 1 and 2 or whatever. I think Remnant 2 just came out. Microsoft seems to be helping out Embracer Group a bit as well, which is a very interesting thing, because when you think about it, Embracer Group kind of, I don't want to say swooped in from underneath of Microsoft, but Embracer Group did kind of go in there and get, you know, Crystal Dynamics and some of those teams that Microsoft were already working with. So, you know, it is a little bit unfortunate there, and I would have liked to see Microsoft kind of grab those companies in the first place. But, you know, again, we'll see. You know, like I said, it really kind of comes down to how the fans react to this stuff, how everybody kind of comes together for these types of announcements. I want to see, you know, Microsoft and Sony kind of do their best when it comes to getting games and content and all this kind of stuff for their fans. And, you know, again, we are sort of living in a very interesting time where gamers, to be quite frank, can kind of do anything they want. I mean, that's the great thing about gaming, is like Microsoft and has like everything kind of rolling for us. So, you know, that makes me extremely happy to see. You know, I can't wait to see what happens in the future. Let's just say that. So it is an exciting time. With that being said, I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Are you guys going to tune in? I honestly do think Microsoft has so much going on right now. You know, and I think they're really just kind of nailing it. And, you know, I know some people won't agree with that statement or whatever. They'll talk about sales, but what about our sales? You know, and they'll bring that stuff up. But I think, honestly, we're in such a way right now that I think sales of plastic, honestly, probably the last thing that people should be worried about, to be clear. So let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you all, each and every one of you. Thank you for rocking out with me. If you're new to the channel, I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer about. Please leave a like on the video and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already. Have a good day. Crap Gamer out.